Professional to tell people.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Hi. Simon, Jack. How's it going? I shouted quite loud then, didn't I? What are you doing, Jack?
There was an eyelash on the screen.
An
Did you,
eyelash
did
on
you
the
make
screen.
a wish?
No, I didn't actually.
No, you
What?
can't do it if you see it. You have to guess which side it is. You have to guess which side it is, then you can make a wish.
Right, like,
So it's-
let's just get to the bottom of this.
But wait,
None
doesn't
of
make
that
any
matters
sense.
because
Someone just goes like that.
nothing happens. Yeah,
No. Someone goes to you, you've got an eyelash,
yeah.
then you have to be like, is it that side? If you guess right, then you get to make a wish.
Ah.
That's
What happens if you get it
definitely
wrong?
an Iraqi thing.
Well, if you get it wrong, you just wipe it the other side off and don't make a wish.
What if it's on your nose?
Yeah.
No, but then they wouldn't say which side.
Well, no, then that's what he's saying. The whole game's redundant if it's just on
John?
your-
Yeah, it's
no,
void.
So
It's
you
void.
just don't get a
Yeah.
wish then. Just
Let's be
because-
honest. Let's be honest. It's only me that's going to likely have an eyelash on their nose, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You boys haven't got the, I'm wearing my glasses today. I'm going to
little button nose.
I'm going to take them off. Does my hair look alright? Do you reckon?
Oh yeah. You look really professional now.
Hey.
Oh my God, is that you, George? Is that you?
That's me. I can't see very well now.
God, yeah.
Oh, that's why I wore them, because I'm reading out the questions. I forgot. I'll put them back on.
Neither of you.
Are you both well? In serious note, had a good week.
Wednesday so far? Yeah, all good.
Yeah.
Wednesday. We're past the worst day of the week, which is Tuesday, so that's all right.
Why is Tuesday the worst day of the week?
Is it 'cause
Monday,
of the
you've
clients
just
you have? You just said that.
yeah. What?
Is it because of all the clients you have on Tuesday and you've just said that Tuesday's your
Yeah. I hate all my Tuesday clients. No, I don't. It's Monday is like you're like, oh my God, that was the weekend. I can go back to work. I feel really fresh, so that's all right. I'm all right for Monday. Tuesday is like too far away from Friday.
Yeah.
Wednesday's the middle of the week, so you're getting excited. Thursday pretty much is Friday anyway, and Friday is Friday. That's why.
So Thursday.
Tuesday, because it's for me, it feels the furthest away. Monday, I've already accepted that the end of the week is so far away, so it's an all right day, and I've had 2 days off. But Tuesday, it just gets me.
Yeah.
Should we
Tuesday,
change the theme of the podcast from fitness to philosophy? With
But
Yeah, I think that one's a. I think I
Friday.
just put a hard hitter out. That was a hard hitter. Some people are going to relate to that, man. You're gonna be like, yeah, Tuesday, yeah, you know that song about Mondays and stuff. That's going to be changed to Tuesdays now. Are you watching the charts?
Monday. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't do
No,
it. He just says. He just says.
Craig David. Yeah, I'm not
He just
talking
says.
about
He
Craig
just says.
David.
He just says Monday, and then says nothing. He goes, took her for a drink on
Chose
Tuesday.
a generic tune and just went, man.
Took her for a drink.
And I'm
Tuesday.
definitely not talking about that song. There's a song.
Which
about,
song are you talking about then?
Because
There's
it
a really
wasn't wrong. George didn't sing the song.
yeah, no, well, he was kind of going into Craig David. Took a for a drink on
On
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah, no, I was talking about. There's a song about Mondays being a terrible day. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like Beatles time. You know what I mean? It's ages and ages ago.
Okay. Yeah. It doesn't matter then. I guess.
Well, nothing.
Just like these years won't matter in 10 years when there's no coronavirus.
I just somehow I feel I struggle to believe that there will be a world without coronavirus anymore, because the new variant was like, it's not even that potent. It's about the same, and now it's 30% worse.
I don't know if that's true, man.
Well,
I don't know if that's true.
Yeah,
I mean, they're telling me,
yeah.
but I don't know if I believe them. Is the, they want us, they're always talking to us like we're naughty. Oh, you naughty children. You went out at Christmas. You told us we could.
Yeah.
You told us it was fine.
Yeah.
If it was dangerous, you knew about the variant. You knew about it. It's not like it was like, oh, there's a new variant, so we're locked down. There's a new variant, but carry on.
Do you know what I don't understand is why the government keep breaking all the rules, because like I see them all in the Houses of Parliament, like that's indoors.
Snogging.
That's
snogging.
And that's more than one person as well. So like, why don't they have a House of Commons Zoom call?
Zoom Commons.
You know what I mean? Where they all like are there shouting away and trying to like pip in, but only one person can really talk on Zoom, so it would be really interesting. People in the back being like, "Oh, I was about to get in."
they get muted by the host.
Yeah, the house speaker.
Yeah, just mute. Here's another thing. Why hasn't Boris Johnson lost weight?
Oh, he's on that fitness regime, do we? Oh, because he shut gyms down. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. Now he can't get to the gym. He can't lose weight. Yeah. All right, we better start. we better start, I think. So today's topic, boys and girls, is low carbs and low fat diets. So let me ask the first question. Why do you guys think these macros got such a bad rap in the past? Jack.
Are you going to respond? Oh, there we go.
I forgot that's what we're doing now.
Yeah.
Why they get a bad rap? Probably because of, I don't know what period of time it was, but it was a while ago now where everyone was anti-carb for ages, and then it comes about in cycles, doesn't it, with these things where it's like fashion. They come back in, they're in, and then they go out, and then in like 6 years' time, it's then back in again. Why they do, I don't know. I think potentially carbs, because mainly carbs can be seen as generically bad things. So like when people think of carbs in general, think, oh, chips, crisps, sweets, maybe in that category, big potatoes. And then if you eat a lot of them, the result is you hold water through eating a lot of carbs. So you have that puffy feeling. So you might feel a bit puffy when you're eating excess carbs. And that feeling maybe goes around, so all carbs are bad. And then when maybe people take them out, so they go into the fad and they end up taking carbs out, they lose all the water, and so they puffy, and they feel
Turn into a puppy.
It's outrageous.
Just mad.
And yeah, they feel lean and they think, oh, I took out carbs, so that must be how I've lost weight. That must be the solution, and so on and so forth. So maybe that's one of the reasons. I don't know. Simon, what do you?
I just don't believe anything you said. First of all, you said if you eat too many of them, you turn into a puppy. So
he also said carb.
I have an agenda. I want to get it across. If anyone disagrees,
he said it's the way you said carbs are bad was like Mr. Mackey on South Park saying drugs are bad.
Drugs are bad.
Carbs are bad.
Believe your ass, you're bad. So there was a theory, wasn't there? It was going around basically. So carbohydrates are energy, aren't they? Fat is energy. So carbohydrates being an energy source, like initially things started off being like, well, if you eat loads of energy, then your body will not burn fat, it will burn energy. Therefore, carbs are bad because you're basically stopping yourself burning fat, because you're filling yourself up with energy. So we then used to have a load of stuff where you don't eat carbs for breakfast because it puts you into a fat burning state, because if you eat fats, then your body will start burning fat as a fuel rather than carbohydrates as an energy source. And obviously then all the stuff that Jack said then, so you stop eating carbs, you start reducing your body water, which ultimately reduces your body weight. You increase your carbs, you increase your total body water. So you can hold per gram of carbs, it's like 45 grams of water. So if you had 100 grams of carbs, you will be a pound heavier if you drink water and store it. But like I said, the initially theories were around that, oh, you're eating you're eating energy foods, so your body's not going to choose fat as a fuel, it's going to choose. But obviously we know now that doesn't actually matter, because all food is energy. Protein can be converted into energy, fat can be converted into energy, and carbohydrates. So it doesn't matter what's going on here, but what does matter is that the total energy in the day is the end goal. So if you're eating less than you're burning, then obviously that's going to create a deficit in fat loss. And with the fat thing was, I think dominantly that was kind of like a World War II scenario where butter was rationed, milk was rationed, all those sort of things were rationed. We were under the Blitz, there wasn't as much produce, so on and so forth. So naturally people had less of these things, and then people lost weight over the course of over the Second World War, especially in the UK. And they were like, oh my God, low fat diets are the way forward. You eat fat, you turn fat. Again, ignoring the energy intake and expenditure equation, which is ridiculous. But in true fact, in the war times, all food was rationed, and people weren't allowed to use public transport, and they had to walk because there was no cars at nighttime, because they had to have all the lights off, so they didn't give potential bombers a target to hit. So do you know what I mean? So people's daily energy expenditure went up and their energy intake went down. That was what happened. But we're in that, well, we rationed fat, and
Yeah, we didn't have those foods. They weren't available, so they associated with the foods that they couldn't get rather than total intake of and then some studies came off the back of World War II as to why butter and everything is bad for you, which is obviously nonsense. Hence where margarine and everything come from. We won't go into all of that right now. Maybe on another one. So on that, you briefly mentioned a couple of things there when you were talking, Simon. So if you could just explain to the listeners and viewers what predominantly what carbs do in the body and predominantly what fats will do in the body. Just a few things. It doesn't have to be.
Well, carbohydrates are a primary source of energy. Like that is the main what's the word I'm looking for here?
Fuel.
The main fuel source, but that's their main job. They raise your insulin up. They help you store nutrients, but ultimately they're there as a backup source for energy production because they are very, very quick to make energy out of. Whenever we want to use energy from fat or protein, we have to go through this whole thing of gluconeogenesis where we have to convert these things into different little molecules and then switch them in and make them for fuel. So it's a hard process to go through. And that's where you hear marathon runners say they hit the wall. They hit the wall because they've just suddenly run out of carbohydrates that are readily available, stored as glucose in their cells. And all of a sudden their body's got to be like, shit, we need energy to keep running. So then they go through this weird phase of running and feeling a bit weird and lacking energy and drive, and then eventually they'll come out of that because their body's now like, okay, so we can convert fats and so on and so forth. So their main job is energy production and quick energy. Whereas fat has more than just that. Fat controls hormones. It has fat soluble vitamins. It helps coat the cells in our body. It helps improve brain function through neurotransmitters. It has so many roles, and that's why all these fat-free products and low-fat diets I've never been a fan of ever in my life, because neurologically you're going to feel flat. You're going to feel really flat. And I know the brain uses sugar and whatever as fuel, but you can get that from ketones. Don't say ketosis. Don't say
You said it. You said it out loud.
But you know what I mean? Like, you can get energy in the brain, but for that stimulation and that quick fire response in your brain, you're going to need the fat soluble vitamins and all the goodness that comes with fats.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to, on the question of why we think they got a bad rap. I think, I don't know if you boys agree, in Western society, we have a lot of readily available foods that have a high amount of carbohydrates and a high amount of fats. You're talking, the types of meals that are, ready to buy, ready to cook there, or put in the microwave straight away. And a lot of our, breakfasts are toast based, perhaps, or sandwiches for lunch. And I think in lots of other countries, this isn't necessarily the case. So again, if you were to look at someone's food diary, and quite often you see the excess comes from carbohydrates, perhaps. So by taking the carbohydrates down, what I'm essentially doing is taking some of the calories down. And I think there was a momentum behind that, saying it was the carbs that was making people fat, when in reality it was just we ate too many calories, and the main calories we overate was coming from carbohydrates in the form of breads, croissants, bagels, like you said, crisps and all that sort of thing.
But also
so
these
pasta.
They're so palatable. They're so
that's right.
They're very easy to digest. They're very quick to prepare. Sometimes they're already prepared first. You know what I mean? Like, it's so much more accessible if you want a quick snack. Carbohydrates are going to be the first thing that you can reach off. Protein, unless you have it pre-prepped, is going to take you some time. So naturally, it dominates in people's diets, doesn't it? And especially the female population, it takes over. Whereas men will always tend to but they'll always have a higher meat content or fish content or protein content overall in their diet. But females tend to, texture wise, how easy and tasty it is, and how easily it is they chew you up and make you feel good because you're getting all these endorphins from it. They tend to gravitate towards. So when you get all these low carb diets and demonizing the carbs, all you're doing is taking a food group away, aren't you? That's all you're doing.
Yeah.
So if I was to say,
Calories
right, you
down,
have, it's so your calories are down, and if you take away, if somebody spends 70% of their diet on carbohydrates and you suddenly take all carbohydrates away, what's going to happen to them?
Yeah, the
They're going to
calories are going to drop
rapidly
right
lose
down,
weight.
and they're going to rapidly, yeah.
And first of all, they won't have the knowledge as to what to do with the rest of it. So
there's a bit of herd mentality with it as well, and that's it can be packaged up in a good way. So marketing, essentially,
marketing,
where someone hears someone else has done it or sees it on TV or sees the advertising for it and thinks, oh, I'll try that. It's new, it's different, it's something else to try. So they think, oh, I'll try that. And then it just spirals out there and people are like, oh, I heard so-and-so did it. I heard so-and-so did it. I want to try. And it just cycles out like that's why they get so popular and around, don't they?
Yeah. And then you get people who endorse them, don't you? So we currently are living in a society where social media influencers or past famous people are being paid huge amounts of money. They go on and do this like, oh, in 15 days, I've lost all this by drinking this keto drink that puts you in ketosis. And, they do a photo where they stick their belly out and a photo where they pop their belly in. So automatically people are like, oh my God, carbohydrates are so bad and yada, yada, yada. But all you're doing is you're creating another type of, I suppose you're creating another type of, well, again, I'm struggling for words here. Tendency to be afraid of food and and like fear mongering almost. So people are like going to eat carbs, they feel guilty, I don't know what to do, oh my God, I've screwed my diet over, and then they go on the opposite and lose control and eat everything then, rather than just being like, it's all right, yeah, some carbs, like it's fine.
And then it all cycles back again to sounds bad, like lack of education, in the sense that don't have the background to realize, okay, this person's talking shit, he doesn't know what he's on about, doesn't make any sense. So they assume they're in front of me on my computer, on my laptop, they must have some sort of credibility, otherwise they wouldn't be there, they wouldn't have that many followers, whatever it is, and they think, oh, he must know what he's talking about, I'm gonna go do that. When if they had the base level knowledge of education to know exactly what you said earlier about what carbs do, what we need them for, how if you want to use them for probably the same type of training this guy's spouting you should do, you definitely need carbs because otherwise you're going to die. All these things cycle together, and then it's just all roots back to that, just not knowing the fundamentals of it.
Yeah, but ultimately it creates like eating disorders as well if you're constantly afraid of food types and rather than understanding what the hell's going on here, So somebody asked me, somebody asked me the other day, it might have been a week or so ago, what did I think of one of them Graze bars? They're like nut bars basically. They're like, oh, they're basically high in protein. And I was like, have a Mars bar because you're going to save yourself a couple of calories there, and they'll probably be a lot tastier. And you probably end up with the same protein anyway. So.
Especially if you have a Snickers bar. Snickers,
that's got nuts in it. I mean, nuts are protein.
Nuts are so protein.
Yeah, they are total protein.
But Snickers are better than Mars. I'm going to go ahead and say that out loud.
Yes.
Apart
from Mars ice cream.
Mars ice creams are good.
Mate, Snickers ice creams again, I think, are better than Mars ice creams.
Yeah, probably, but not right now.
Well, when? I want to know when.
Well, when we're not talking about it, you said that the previous one was better and you disagreed. So I'm just
it's because you're wrong. That's why.
Yeah. But it's a really funny one though, because people don't even understand what carbs are, and yet they're afraid of them, and they're still eating bucket loads of them. Like there's so many people who, I'm trying to save on. I'm not eating shit. What did I see the other day? It's on TV, and somebody says, try this here carbohydrate and sugar-free diet. And I was like, well, that's a mind boggler because both of them are the same thing. They're the same. Like,
you just reminded me of something. When I used to work at the salon, one of the girls there, I won't name her, said to me, it was Sally. No, it wasn't Sally. One of the girls there said, yeah, I'm going to go on a no carbs diet. And I went, oh, okay, cool. So she comes in a day later with a can of Coke. And I was like, oh, you doing your no carbs, are you? She went, yeah, I'm doing my no carbs while she's drinking the Coke. I didn't say anything. And then she subsequently was drinking Coca-Cola from that day onwards. And a week later, she was like, it hasn't really been working. And I was like, interesting. You know, and I'm not saying that the Coke is what made her put weight on, but she was likely
Probably
getting
did
others.
though.
Yeah, probably did. She wasn't just drinking that one. Yeah. So you know, but it's just that she didn't realize that essentially that's what it breaks down to. And like it goes back to what you were saying, Jack, about the potential lack of education of not knowing what something is. Yeah.
But what baffles me is that like our government have access to like all the research, and there is millions of studies you can read for free that will provide you with all the information that we are saying now, and the government know that. You know what I mean? There's scientists that know that. There's so many people. Like, I don't know why that they just don't put it in school education. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it could be very basic. These are high energy foods. You require more of them when you expend more energy. This food is really good for recovery. This one is good. You know what I mean? It's a very simple lesson. And like we overcomplicate really, 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 really simple things like we were talking about the last time. And but again, our government have control of this. They know the information's there. It's just that they decide to not deliver it to people. People with hypertension, people with like heart defects and diabetes type 2 and all these other things that are going on, which is a cause of weight gain. Yet they don't give them the information. Like, oh yeah, you should lose weight. How do you do that? Well, I just
have this soup.
eat this soup.
Eat soup. Yeah, that was the soup diet, wasn't it? That they did. Yeah. Any other things to talk about with regards to why they get a bad rap before we move on? No. Very nice. No. So next question is there anyone in the population that you think would benefit from a low carbs? Let's start with a low carbs diet. Go on, Jack. You spoke quite a lot then, Simon.
You know the benefit with both of them, because in the question is low carb or low fat. Either of them, it would be if it's a medical thing. Maybe.
That us as coaches can't.
Yeah, let's not relate. So if there's a medical reason that you get specifically told to that's outside of the realm of you need to lose weight, and it's a specific thing.
Yeah.
Not particularly. Well, I wouldn't recommend it as a starting point. That's where you need to start. That's what you need to do. If it comes around through experimentation, where it's actually after a sustained period where you do it for a long time, and you actually know, I feel incredible. I'm performing the best I've ever done. My numbers are going up, both in terms of whatever it is towards your goal, getting stronger, doing all the things you feel incredible. Fine. After, like I said, a sustained period where you've done it, and it's not just not fluke isn't the right word, not a little spike because of a change where you feel different. Then maybe. Other than that, no. You, like Simon said earlier, you need them, especially if you're training, and the way people train, people need them. Otherwise, they'll go to their workouts, their classes, and crash and not be able to actually put in the work in the sessions they want to do to get the results they want to get out of it. And then there's that horrible cycle all over again. So to cut it short, no.
Okay. So I guess if someone is overeating one or both of those macronutrients, by bringing it down to a more normal level isn't putting them on a low
it's not
carb or a low fat. It's just putting them down to a normal level that we should be eating for your body composition, basically.
You probably wouldn't even need to, like we said last week, where when we first start someone with changing their nutrition, we don't even mention these words until maybe they're at a stage where they need to. Because if you just say to someone, okay, I would like you to reduce your overall caloric intake to this, as a consequence, within each of these macro sections, maybe you obviously emphasize protein to stay at a certain level if they're ready for that information, but the other two would come down anyway because you're reducing their calories. So overall, you're going to lower both, but not to where it's specifically low.
Yeah. So it just goes.
It's
Everything
going to
just
happen.
goes down. Yeah.
You're going to produce them all anyway, but it's not like you straight away go, you need to eat 2 grams of carbohydrates a day in order to get where you want to be. Like,
And there's loads of people that do that, and they put these macro splits up, which are just nonsense. Like when they put up, you should eat 30% carbs and 20% fat because you're a mesomorph. Like, shoot me.
I have no idea. Just do it.
Shoot me in the face, because that's just not how it works. You could be a mesomorph but be 10 stone overweight. That no longer means that you function like you did when you were in an athletic position. Right, that's life. But going back to what you were saying there, and the question as well, like the only time I'd ever recommend a low carbohydrate diet is if the person came to me and said, I don't like carbohydrates. I prefer to eat a lot of meat, and I like high fatty, high protein foods, which has happened very, very seldom, but sometimes it does happen. Then you could go like, well, that's all right. You can reduce your carbs down and have more meat-based meals with veg in there. That's not a problem. But I mean, that's happened to me with females minus 20 times. So not at all, ever, not even close to it. And males, it's probably only happened twice.
Can you remember them?
I think one of them was South African, man. And that's just like how they were bred. They snack on dried, cured meats. So
no pun intended with the bread.
Yeah. But they do like, do you know what I mean? Their diet is dominantly a very high meat diet. They snack on portivores, and they have biltong, and they have all these things, whereas they would quite happily just do that and have a lot of veg. Like,
have you tried portivore?
Oh, it's delicious.
Oh my god, it's the best sausage ever.
Yeah,
it is the best sausage ever.
Jack, what is that?
I haven't had it. No, I haven't had
there's like South African shops. It's basically like a sausage that goes around and just gets bigger and bigger, but it's just so much. It's just got loads of flavor in there, loads of seasoning. It's really nice.
Spicy, so spicy.
Yeah. So nice.
Super spicy.
Yeah, it's. Say that again.
Super spicy?
No. Like
no. It's like just got flavor, man. It's just one of those things. It's got loads of flavor.
Do you not like spicy food, Jack?
Barbecue. No, anything above a korma, man.
Anything above a korma?
Yeah, anything above a korma, I'm like, nah, pointless. My mouth
can't even see.
What you need to do. Here's what you need to do. You need to go to. You got to do this, Jack. You got to go to a curry shop one day and just accept that this is you're wasting your money for that day. Just accept it. Okay, then go into the curry house and get the hottest curry you can possibly get and eat it, all of it in its entirety. Doesn't matter how long it takes you. The next time you go to that same curry house, get something halfway between that and a korma, and then you'll really like that thing.
I done reverse training with that. I done started with chili con carnes and had half a chili, and then like 3/4 of chili, and then a chili, and then a chili and a half, and then 2 chilies. Because I was the same as you, Jack. Like I'd eat it and I'd be like, "Well, there's no enjoyment from fire in my mouth.
No.
I can't taste any of the food because the heat is severe, and my lips are tingling."
Yeah.
George is over there, one of them people being like, "Oh, I love the sweats."
Yeah. I don't even sweat anymore.
That's worrying.
Like generally, I'm joking. Just when I'm eating curry. Yeah, I should. So yeah, I think that's the only time, Simon, where I would give someone either a low carbs or a low. I struggle with the idea of low fat like you, so I probably would never give someone a low fat diet. But
I think it's way unhealthier than having low carbs.
Yeah, I agree.
You think about like all their body functionality, everything that's happening, all the little chemical reactions. Like you need that fat in there, like.
Yeah,
your central nervous system is coded. All the cells are coded in like a little sheaf of fat. You start tampering with that, and things don't work properly. Like
you can't move your arms and stuff.
And then you can't do actions like that.
Like central nervous system.
I think central nervous system.
Nervous system. Yeah.
I think the only ever time that I would ever give somebody purposely, even male and female, a low carbohydrate diet is if they had 6 weeks to do something serious with body composition, where they were like, "Look, I know this is a terrible decision. I've got a wedding or something like that. It's coming up in 6 weeks."
Well, wedding's the terrible decision.
It's just And if you can give me a diet that makes me pass out so I don't have to go through it, that would be great. Then I'll be
Yeah.
like, oh my God, low carbohydrates are really good for feeling faint. Yeah. No, but you know what I mean? Like that's the quickest way to
Yeah.
quickly cut calories. And it's really a lazy approach by just being like, right, let's not eat carbohydrates. Let's stick to meat and protein now for next 6 weeks. And you're going to see dramatic water loss and weight loss. But that's I wouldn't do it more than 6 weeks before I pull them back in and start putting carbs in there.
You have to make sure they understand, like, you will feel very tired at some point. You will feel pretty shitty.
Angry.
6 weeks, grumpy. You will be so angry. But
short way, everybody, even your dog, and
so
that never happens.
So sleepy.
Yeah.
Why are you a dog?
Oh,
you're so fluffy.
It's usually like quietness. I find like whenever I've been really low on calories, just silent, just like looking, just like you zone out, looking at walls. Just like I wonder how they painted that wall.
Yeah. Can I eat that wall?
Yeah.
Think there's carbs on the paint?
Whenever I've been in the past, if ever I've gone really low in carbs, I always all of a sudden I start like. I used to do stuff like I'd put the amount of carbs that I'm allowed on my plate, like say it's rice, put it on, and then I'd just take a scoop of the rice that's in the
and then eat
saucepan
it and
eat it and be like, that doesn't count.
And I actually remember smelling Coca-Cola when I was like I was trying to go all Charles Poliquin and stuff, and just eat 8,000 nuts and protein 47 times a day and not lose any weight. But like I was so starved of carbohydrates. I remember just opening bottles of Coke and being like, oh my God, it's so sweet. And I'd be salivating and then like shoving lettuce in my mouth then.
Yeah, get a smell so you've got it in your taste buds and then quickly eat the lettuce.
Yeah.
On that, I just wanted to briefly talk about ketosis here. Just a little bit. Ketosis here. So,
you can get drinks now to put you into ketosis immediately, despite how many carbohydrates you eat in a day, which is incredible because it defies all human science. Which is incredible.
So can we just briefly, for the people who don't know what ketosis is, it's basically when you eat little enough carbs. Is that a thing? Little enough?
Sure.
It sounds good.
Eat little enough carbs for a long enough period of time that you stop using carbohydrates as your main energy source for day-to-day function, and you start using ketones,
which are
a fat
that comes from
so am I right? Am I right, guys?
Yeah,
have I missed anything? Have I missed
absolutely.
anything there? So just briefly on that point then. So if you are burning carbohydrates as you start burning ketones for energy, and you are, let's say, not in a calorie deficit, can you then lose body fat in that while doing that? So can someone lose body fat, maintain weight if you're resistance training? Because this is how it's sold, isn't it? This is how ketosis is often sold, is you will lose body fat and hold or gain muscle. Jack, is that a thing?
Can it be a thing? If can you repeat it?
So the way it's often sold is you go into the ketosis diet, so you lose body fat alone, and not muscle. So you change your body composition, but without being in a deficit. Yeah, that's right.
The thing is ketosis, the original ketosis is very low protein because it was originally a medical thing for epilepsy, I want to say.
High fat. Yeah, that's right.
High fat. But in actual ketosis, the original reason it was this, very low protein. Whereas now it's been cycled into fitness where they actually change the protein content, but they keep the very high fat aspect of it.
Yeah, you're right. True ketosis is low carbs and low protein and very, very high fat.
Protein will move your insulin and you can convert it. And
So the reason it's advertised and cycled, especially in the fitness industry, because if you're training correctly with the protein level, you potentially may be able to sustain your muscle mass, because you're using the protein sources that you're using at the right level in order to maintain and recover. But saying that, it's probably going to be a harder process because, especially if you heavy strength train or specific hypertrophy sessions, you need carbohydrates in order to build muscle and maintain your muscle mass, because you deplete your glycogen stores, and so you need to replace that. It's part of the process. It can't just be in the mentality where muscle protein. You need protein, yes, to help the recovery and the building, but you also need carbohydrates. One, for the recovery process, like I just said, to replace the glycogen stores. Two, you need to fuel your sessions. Yes, you can argue they'll argue the fats can be used as their protein source, but out of the two, I'd choose carbs over fat to fuel my session.
Energy source. Yeah.
They're all liars.
So, well, I think we know of a certain protocol. I won't name it, but there's a protocol that some people we know that use it, but actually they say it'll put you into ketosis, and it's sold in the way that you retain muscle. But I don't think I know anyone that's done it that's retained muscle while they did it. So they lost a ton of weight.
They're in a deficit, yeah.
They are in a deficit. That is true. And I suppose the question was, can you not be in a deficit of calories officially and lose body fat and not gain? So I suppose yes is the short answer, with a few buts, or quite a few buts in there. So again,
but if you can still be in ketosis, or you can be on a ketogenic diet and be in a calorie surplus and gain weight, because you know what I mean. There's plenty of tribes out there that don't have access to carbohydrates, or they eat lots of animal fats and so on, and they still, they're overweight because of the energy balance.
Now, overweight? Just quickly, so overweight because they carry excess. Are they carrying excess body fat, or are they overweight?
Because they're still eating high fat foods. You know what I mean? They're still consuming really, really high calories, but just through fat instead of carbohydrates. So it goes the opposite way then. But it doesn't matter what you do if you're not in an energy deficit. Nothing's going to work. You're not going to lose any weight, are you? Like, and it's a really hard way to diet.
Yeah. So if you're on just understanding, if you're on a ketogenic diet, you then still can gain weight. So this whole
of course you can.
This whole selling point.
You lose water.
Yeah, you might lose water initially, but then this whole selling point of you don't have to. You can eat as much as you want, because often that's another thing that's being sold with a ketogenic diet. Is that you can eat as much as you want, and you can.
Well, Weight Watchers and Slimming World and all that, you can eat as much rice as you want. Like, I mean, George, you would be obese if you were in Weight Watchers. You would, because I've never seen anybody eat so much rice as fast as you do. Like, that's killer amount of calories. Like,
the thing is, man, it's like it's everything in my culture is rice based. So it's like, there's some meat with rice, there's some sauce with rice, there's some bread with rice, there's some rice with rice. Do you want to put that rice with that rice so we can have two forms of rice?
Do you want cereal and rice? Do you want rice from cereal?
Yeah, and we have this Christmas dish called parcha. It's basically sheep stomach. When you cut it open, there's rice. It's a really nice, man. It's like it's very similar to haggis, but like it's everything. Like it's like the bowl is like probably about that big, of normal size bowl, and it's like meat or vegetables about that much in the middle. And if you're listening, it's like a small circle. Okay, and the whole plate, everything. The rest of the plate is rice.
Never do rice. Audio description. I
had to, because we're getting quite a few downloads. We're 161st in the Fitness UK podcasting table, so we're moving up a little bit.
Out of 161,
about 162, but my mum's watching a lot of these. And they're a different account each time.
But I was just going to go on the ketogenic diet. We don't live in a country that supports people on a ketogenic diet. And I know that sounds stupid, but if you go to America, you go to Australia and places like that, they have aisles that are, set up for this, like meat-based diets and low carbohydrate foods and all this sort of things, whereas we don't have that, and we don't have that culture when it comes to cafes and restaurants and all that sort of stuff. It would be more of, you would have to put in extra orders to be like, look, can you take the chips out of that one? You take the rice out of that dish. Can you take the rice out of that sheep stomach and just give me the stomach part of it?
Give me the skin. Give me the skin.
Yeah. Whereas, like I said, you could go to Australia and you can go to probably have a keto bar, where you go there and get a vegetable and meat meal and stuff. So it doesn't support it over here. And then what you find is you find people becoming very frustrated because they can't eat, or they end up going to Sainsbury's and buying dried chicken and then eating salad leaves from the bag with their hand. You know what I mean? And that's not a friendly way to eat, and it certainly will create binge patterns from that, because it'll be like, well, this is shit, I'm going to eat that whole pack of donuts now because I'm fed up with trying to find something that's just not meat and rocket.
Yeah, rocket. Yeah. It's most bitter.
Yeah, it's so peppery. It's so peppery.
Yeah, just like I've seen people trying to eat that on like, and after 2 mouthfuls, they're like,
yeah. I've done it in desperate times. Just add meat and just been like, oh, I'm not any veg. Grab a handful, put it in my mouth, and instantly regret it.
No dressing, like just
no dressing. No. Surprising what dressing can do to a salad.
Oh mate, it just changed it. But then we don't want that because there's high carbs in it. So
oh yeah, high carbs in
it. Yeah. Cool. Any other? Have we missed anything? Talking about this, have we missed anything?
Covered everything pretty much, I would imagine. Jack?
No, I think we nailed it. I was looking at the questions George sent in. But
yeah, a couple of them got covered when we were talking about others, actually. So I didn't think.
I guess it's basically that, like, we don't need to fear foods. We just need to understand what they're about. There only is 3 macronutrient groups. It's not. You don't need to be a nutritionist to be like, oh, what the hell is? I have to learn the whole 3 things. One's for recovery. One is for neurotransmitters and the rest of the body's function and your immune system. The other one is for dominantly an energy source, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's not. It's really
you need to know.
That bad. If you're going to move, if you want a lot of energy to do a lot of activity, have more energy in your food, more carbohydrates. If you're having a day where you're stuck in the office and you haven't walked much, moved much, then don't eat high energy foods. And I think we've talked about this before. The office culture is like, Friday, yeah, let's get the takeaway because we feel so tired from doing nothing.
Cheese Tuesdays.
Yeah,
cheese. Someone told me about cheese Tuesdays. Tuesdays, and they buy the mountain of cheese, like a mountain.
Yeah,
and they all just sit there in cheese. And McDonald's Wednesdays, and it's just all these super high. Calorie style
massive WeWork places here do it all the time. The massive breakfast they lay out for all the stuff. They're a joke. There's just a whole bar of just bagels and everything you want. Obviously, it looks incredible, but all these people are going to go do is sit down for the next 10 hours.
No, that's it. And like they're feeling fatigued because they're bored shitless. They're not like, if I sat there and tried to listen to somebody talk to me about, I don't know, aerospace and all the technologies in it, like I would be falling asleep right now, but it's only because I'm not interested in it. And when they're doing work, they couldn't care less. They only want that 5 o'clock time slot to come so they can go home. So in the middle, they're like, you hear all the time, like, oh, I just don't know, I have just such a lack of energy in the middle of the day. That's because you're eating sugar all day, man.
I don't know about what you guys are. If you have, especially now we're doing Zoom sessions all the time. If I have like 4 Zoom sessions in a row, I'm miserable.
Headphone.
I'm like, I've been looking at the screen. I haven't really moved. I literally just have to go do something. I'm like, people do this every day. People do
mate,
4 hours minimum. Like, stop.
I felt like at the end of yesterday, I took my glass off and sat down because I had so many Zoom calls in a row. I kept because I've been staring at screen for so long, I kept thinking my glasses were still on and kept going to grab my glasses to take them off, but they weren't there. This is the stuff it does to people, sit-down jobs, man. It wrecks. Like, I spent my whole life trying not to do a sit-down job, and now I'm forced into a sit-down job.
My camera stand is the one just to stand up and do the Zoom stood up. It's just the way forward. It kills me otherwise.
Like massive PVC pole. Like I just walk around with this thing, just trying to do something, just like doing zooms, you're going like, yeah, good.
Yeah, great time.
Again, for the again, I just want to say for the listeners, Jack's just picked up a pole and started putting it above his head, doing some body rotations. You know, just because you don't get the benefit. So watch it sometimes, because
I think
you get gold like that. You know,
I think your narration is bad. It should be like, Jack has picked up a white plastic pole. He is waving it furiously back and forth over his head and gyrating side to side.
gyrating. I can't take that word seriously ever since I heard it used on South Park, but we won't go into that. I just watch it too much.
Yeah,
so I think the message here is try not to fear any food groups. If you're looking to maintain weight, make sure you find a way of balancing your calories in versus calories out, and put yourself in a calorie deficit if you want to lose, surplus if you want to gain muscle or gain weight. But be patient, and don't beat yourself up if you go off a little bit and you do eat too much of something. It's play the long game. It's nice and calm.
Exactly that.
Yeah. I think that was a particularly good one this week.
Liked it.
And it was a smooth intro. Jack didn't ruin my intro. It was.
He definitely
was
did.
Good. It was good. I don't think he did. It's coming next week, I feel. But
yeah, can't wait to put up that part I recorded at the start.
Yeah, I told Jack this at the begining, and I'll tell the listeners that if you try and blackmail me with that, I just don't care. You'd be like, George, I'm going to put that stuff you said about. I'll be like, well, it's not that bad, so I don't care. Put it out.
That's it. Do you know when you listen to because kids care so much about all their peers' opinions, don't they? Because that's what they only want the new Adidas, so their friends can be like, oh my god, that Adidas are class. But then as you're an adult, you're like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Oh, have you got the new pair of football boots? Nah, these are 12 years old. Why did you get a new pair? Because they fit me. But they're crap. And
yeah. Oh, well, I just want to say though, like to Jack in particular, like how good are Man United again? Like just real quick. He's actually gone. That's brilliant. That is brilliant. That's getting put into one of the clips, I think.
Man, I've been narking my friend about Lampard as well, because obviously he's a Chelsea fan and Chelsea boy, and then he's just been dropped.
He's just but he deserves it,
Yeah,
deserves it. A, because being a terrible manager this season, but B, because
playing pinball when he shoots.
Yeah, those deflections.
I hate them. You did, you were all for him, I bet you, when he played Fringo, and you're like, yeah. And then when he played against him, you're like, that's embarrassing.
Yeah, so look at that deflection. Yeah, my cousin said the same thing. I think he listens to these as well. That the deflections used to kill him. They used to absolutely kill him.
Well, you stand outside the 18-yard box and kick it at 12 people. I mean, what is your keeper supposed to do? Be like, right, I'm going to anticipate it's going to hit him, and then bounce over here.
What you need to do is try and see which way you think he's going to shoot and jump the other way.
The other way.
Just and that one time it doesn't deflect. Anyway, let's stop talking about Lampard. No one wants to hear that. No one wants to hear that.
No one needs that.
Good one, Simon. See you next week, Jack. I'll say bye to Jack anyway, even though he ducked out there. But see you next week.
See you later, man. Bye-bye.
Bye.